Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Doug. Doug, how are you?
Very good, Tammy, and how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you so much for asking. Today we're going to be talking about seller disclosures and how to proceed with them. So Doug, seller disclosures, where do we even begin with these?
Well, they're just a real important part of our transactions these days. Buyers, especially because they're buying a lot of the times they're buying as is, they really need to know what they should know about the property and what the seller knows. The seller has an affirmative obligation to tell the buyer, indicate to the buyer everything they know or should know about the property. And we refer to it as material facts, and a material fact would be anything that affects the value or habitability of the property.
Okay, so the form that we use in real estate for our clients here in California is the transfer disclosure statement, correct?
Yes.
Okay, with this statement, we know that both the buyer and seller, the buying agent and the selling agent have an obligation to go through and look at the home from their viewpoint and take a look and report everything that's going on, right?
Right. It starts with the seller. The seller goes through, the agent can kind of guide him through the form, but the transfer disclosure statement, and there's several related documents, the natural hazard zone disclosures, and there's the property questionnaire, which is a little more extensive than the transfer disclosure statement. Those should be filled out by the seller, and the seller should sign off on those. And then we have, as real estate agents, have a duty to go through and look for what they call red flags, anything that indicates maybe problems, even if and when we're going to have professionals come in and take a look at it again.
Okay, so how extensive do they have to be? Do they have to talk about every little chip of paint, or just kind of give them guidelines on what they have to report?
Again, it goes to material facts. A chip in the paint, that sort of thing, especially something that's very obvious, would not be something they would write down. A floor that's maybe chipped but also is soggy, a buyer might not know that, might not realize that, and of course you would want to disclose that. Also, things that you may think of later, like a garage band that plays across the street till 4 o'clock in the morning a couple of times a month would be certainly something a buyer would want to know, but you might not think about when you're initially doing it, so that would require a supplemental disclosure if you came across something like that.
Okay, great. And this also extends to a seller selling their home by themselves, the for sale by owner, correct?
Correct, yes. Yes, it is section 1102 and 1103 of the Civil Code refer to the property owner has these obligations, whether they're working with a realtor or not.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Doug, thank you so much for touching on this subject and clearing up seller disclosures, what they have to disclose. And is there anything else did I forget anything?
No, it's some kind of thing we can be talking about forever, and some of the ins and outs and the 3-day right of rescission, but that's probably something for another time.
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to talking to you next week. Doug, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome, and you guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye.